Hello and welcome to In Orbit. It's the podcast exploring how technology from space is empowering a better world down here on planet Earth, brought to you by the Satellite Applications Catapult. I'm your host, Dallas Campbell. Today, we are talking all about connectivity, and very specifically, the connectivity of places. What do I mean by that? Well, we're going to find out in today's episode. We are joined by two fantastic guests. We have Mutasem Hamdan from Samsung and Gaurangi Bajpai from the Satellite Applications Catapult, who are going to be joining me to talk about all things connectivity. Welcome to the show, both. It's lovely to have you with us. We're going to be talking about connectivity. But I thought maybe we should introduce ourselves. Mutasem, maybe tell us where you're from, what you do, why you're here.
I'm from Samsung Research. I'm working on the AI for communication, and we are trying to solve some of those connectivity problems for 6G.
Basically, every conversation I have now is always now prefaced with the AI. Now, it sounds very grown up. So AI is going to solve all of our connectivity issues.
No, really, it's just a tool. So we cannot really ignore the other tools like statistics, like, for example, formula-based, but machine learning also give us another dimension, another tool.
Yeah.
And we are still premature, really. I would say like 10, 15 years ago, we start with this for communication, and we are still exploring. And of course, we are trying to exploit a little bit on that side.
Okay. Actually, we'll talk about what we're actually talking about when we say connectivity in a moment. Gaurangi, tell us, you're from the Satellite Applications Catapult. Just here upstairs is
just
your
upstairs.
There
Yes.
we go. So tell us, what's your interest and involvement in this area?
Absolutely. I am a senior telecom systems engineer.
You're a telecom systems engineer?
Yes.
Okay.
And I work in a team which is ubiquitous connectivity within the Catapult. So our entire job profile or day-to-day revolves around ensuring or targeting those connectivity problems in different industries, different applications, different service models, and introducing satellite connectivity in standard, non-standard way into these solutions.
Great. Well, listen, welcome to you both. It's lovely to have you here. What are we talking about? When I say connectivity, we automatically think of the Wi-Fi is not working or in a 5G black spot. But what are we talking about today when we talk about connectivity in this context?
I'll start from my point of view, not only as a part of the engineering, but also as a user. The connectivity for me is mean that I can really get to communicate with the people, to connect to other people in a decent way.
Yeah.
So that means I need a good quality, and this we're going to talk about also. I would like also to see that this is something I rely on, which is a reliability, that it's not going to work in 1 minute and in 5 minutes it's not going to work. So this is mainly what I think about connectivity, to give me the feeling of communicating with people in a more comfortable, easy way.
Actually, what you said there was really interesting. So I don't have to think about it. It's one of those things now, we just take it completely for granted and it's invisible until it doesn't work. And then suddenly we're like,
Exactly.
100%.
I think when it comes to connectivity, there is still a very big problem of that valuable and, as you said, reliable connectivity. If you see, you will probably get information or metrics around that there is connectivity all across UK. But then you will definitely go to areas where
there's definitely not connectivity all across the UK.
Yeah, but if you go to like some websites and you find that information, you will see that there is commercial coverage everywhere.
Yeah.
Almost everywhere, if not everywhere. But it is about that reliable, valuable connectivity. But also, what we can talk about today is the private network side of things, because when we talk about connectivity, we're generally talking about the big players, the service providers, like we have a SIM card from Vodafone or Three or something like that. But at the same time, you have satellite connectivity models as well, all of those. But when it comes to private connectivity for private places, that can sort of focus on their requirement.
Beautifully said, because that segues into our main bit of the communication. This idea, we're talking about, actually, here's a term that I'm not familiar with. High traffic enterprise spaces. What do we mean by high traffic enterprise spaces? This is going to be the focus of our conversation. So we're talking about what?
Yeah, now we have this dilemma about the dense places that people are like gathering to in a big, massive volume.
Yeah.
That they want to have a communication without interruption. So when we have that situation, everyone, let's say I have 1,000 people
So
with 1,000 mobile.
Are we talking about stadiums and
Stadium is one of example.
Okay.
Also the musical events, like if you go Glastonbury, for example.
Okay, hang on a sec. I went to see Bob Dylan like a few months ago with my daughter, who's a massive Bob Dylan fan. And when we arrived at the stadium, we had to take our phones out and we had to put them in special cases so they could not be used. Because Dylan was like, you're not allowed to use phones. I want no connectivity here. You have to watch the concert.
It's the artist's choice. Probably also because the space did not have connectivity and they didn't want you to find out.
Maybe, probably. We were in Liverpool, actually.
And this is also part of the monetization. That's why we say that the private and public, they have to have some partnership. So let's say that, that person would like to have some benefit because people are using their connectivity at that time, even to stream their, property of music or something like that, but without benefit, without permissions. So that's, I think, also part of our, dilemma about how we can, have this partnership. And we talk about it also for monetization for everyone.
But can I just say, so if I go to a concert, can't I just use the normal 5G that's...
Do you think it is there?
Well, I don't know. So what are we saying? We're talking about venues particularly or organizations having their own intra connectivity.
Generally, during like music concerts or even stadium events or anything which is planned in advance where there is an expectation of high public, you generally will see those pop-up solutions, extra base stations, extra things, extra connectivity solutions implemented just for that event,
right,
so that people can connect. Generally, when you lay out a connectivity solution for any space, you are only targeting the average usage of that place.
Right.
So if there are generally 100 people in that area, why will you put a solution which will cater to 5,000 people? But when 5,000 people are coming and you add or you scale up that solution for that event purpose, generally that is the scenario. But what is sort of a new idea in this realm is for a lot of these private enterprise places to have a private network of their own, which they can use for their own services and innovation and stuff.
So give us an example. So I go to a stadium and they've got their own network, if you like. What are they going to be offering?
So if they have a private network, say a stadium has a private network, they can use it to they will have their own Wi-Fi and commercial network as well available. That is business as usual. But when you have private network as well, you can innovate with, say, robotics. You can add drone deliveries to your the stadium visitors. You can use it for IoT. You can use it for extra cameras and all of those things. So you can use that for yourself a lot more. But at the same time, what we're talking about here is using that network and offering it as a service to the public when they come to visit in high volumes, and you use that service as a means to monetize your private network. So you sort of get a return of investment.
So you're charging people to use it?
You can charge people to use it.
Okay.
Yeah. I can add to my colleague that there is different models, but the main thing from my point of view also that if I have my private network, I can also control without, disturbing the other networks. For example, I know today I have a big match between City and Arsenal, for example. And then I know there will be tens of thousands. So I can scale up my private network for a certain, premium users,
right,
to use that connectivity. At the same time, if I just want the other users to use a normal service provider, then they can use it. Yeah. However, they cannot have that speed of internet, latency, reliability.
Oh, they do that thing where you have free internet, but if you want to upgrade to better internet, that makes me crazy though, because it's can't we just have good internet?
But this is the idea. It's simply as if you go to your apartment, you have a certain limit for the water you're going to use. If you want more, you need to have a better setup. Yeah, let's say you have one bedroom, then you know that two people maybe there is. But if you have like 5 bedrooms, you need more setup. So we understand that the minimum thing should be available for everyone. However, For some people like VIP, they would like to feel a little bit, more premium using a
Well,
high.
it just seems sometimes that they make it deliberate. Like if you've ever, like you stay at a Premier Inn, okay, they have really bad Wi-Fi, so it kind of forces you to get the
Correct.
to
Well,
get
this
the
is
good
exactly
Wi-Fi.
with the private network within the same, a studium or avenue.
Yeah,
They can, they can give you as if you are using the normal network. But if you want, for example, let's say that you want to have a certain information from the VAR or virtual reality, that means it's a higher bandwidth, which is a cost really for them, because this means they have to orchestrate more, provide more fiber optics for
Yeah.
the avenue, which is costing them.
yeah. No, I
Yeah.
understand. I find all these kind of little niggles. I was in at Euston the other day, and they say we got free Wi-Fi at Euston. I'm like, okay, great, but of course, if you log on, you've got to give them your email address. So it's not free because I'm giving you information, which is a currency, if you like. It's not cash, but it's not free, really. And it's there always seems to be this little kind of.
That's the valuable connectivity place.
I have a fake email which I give these companies.
That's a good idea.
And to be honest with you, this is a challenge. One of those challenges, as you said, is about the data of the users
Yeah,
and the legislations.
yeah.
Which is, I agree that it must be balanced. So now, is that going to be part on the government, part
Yeah.
on the private companies, or even the local authorities? That's a good question. I can't answer
it's
it.
where the money lies, right? Who's going to pay for it? When we talk about, let's just clarify something. When we talk about private network, we're not talking about like Wi-Fi, or we're not talking about the commercially available network that you use with the SIM cards. We're talking about a
Yeah.
telecommunication network, which is in the format of like 5G or 6G, which is going to be private for you.
Yeah.
So it's different from, say, Wi-Fi. It has a little bit more capacity to be structured for your own requirements. So, for example, if I'm a port, they don't care, right? They don't care what the technology is. They cannot be bothered about it. All they need is outcomes, and they will focus on, say, security, safety, efficiency, all of those things, and they need their job done. Because of certain needs, they had to implement autonomous vehicles in the port, right? Because it was very difficult for them to carry on those manual operations. And now, how do you let that autonomous vehicle seamlessly function in those areas? You rely on the commercially available network, which you, as very, very clearly said, that it is not very reliable. Every time you log on to something which is free or available, you have to sort of pay for extra services, or you have to upgrade it to use it, and you have no guarantee whether when you upgrade it, you will actually get the good result. So to get that control back, they can deploy their own network.
Right, I've got it. So it's about making things reliable and seamless.
And you have the control as well.
We're going to talk about space in a minute, listeners, in case you're wondering, why are we talking about all this here? Let's talk. Can we talk about the Arana project? Is it Project Arana? And then maybe that'll segue into that. So what is Project Arana? Where does this fit in?
The Arana project is mainly trying to give the network as a service, and especially for those small or like a special type of private network for avenues like stadiums, as I say, musical, avenues, theaters,
Airports,
ports itself. So the whole idea is you can start as a port or as a stadium to even tailor your services. And this is where the machine learning and artificial intelligence starts. Because you can control and expose some of the network information to yourself, you can create something, we call it X apps, or like applications that improve the quality of service for your clients, customers, or even for your needs, like Gaurangi said about robotics, your IT, system. So that's what Arana is about. We are trying to provide this flexibility for those enterprise space to improve their network for their customers, their IT, for their needs. And not only that one, in an open way, they can even make it flexible and for future development easier for them.
And this is something that Samsung's been involved in.
Yes, we involved ourselves for developing an XApp for that quality of experience. That means for us, let's say that we have 50 users, at the public network, and they are watching the game. But because the public network have another 1,000 people plus the 50, the internet is awful. So what they need to do, they have to go and connect to the private network of Milton Keynes Stadium. And then instead of having like 1 megabit per second, they will have 60 megabit per second.
And so as a customer, I would go to Milton Keynes Stadium and I'd log on to this.
It could be automatic. If you have, because this is, as I say, the business model could be something called free and premium. That means you have part of it is free, then you can go for the premium, or you can accept advertisement, which is, I say, this is again data. Data.
I think it's capitalism I have a problem with.
There is.
I think,
you have a problem
this
with
is my main issue.
But you know what? As Mutasem was saying, there are a lot of things that our project was trying to handle. One of the problem spaces is when we talk about, say, this private network that we were talking about, to give a business case to these enterprise places of why they should invest in it. So they have a need for private network, but they will keep investing on something else unless to improve their service and not invest in private networks. One is giving them the business case, saying that, okay, if you invest in it for your own needs and purposes to do innovation in the area, which is, say, 10 years down the line, which is not coming now. And when you always have a problem like this, that you need to invest on something which is going to give you outcome 10 years down the line, that will get parked. You will not invest on it. You will not think about it. But at the same time, if you solve a little problem for them, which is monetization, if they invest on it, they get a return of investment from their customers. So, and if that customer want a better quality of service.
I just want to sort of really, if I'm a customer going to a football match or going to Milton Keynes Stadium or going to a concert, what am I getting? What service am I getting for all of this? Just give us an example, just because if I'm going to watch a concert, I want to go and watch Bob Dylan. I don't want to be looking at my phone discussing things. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so what am I getting for my money?
For example, in Milton Keynes, there is another app we didn't develop. Another partner has developed. It's just picking some special cameras view for the game.
I see.
So let's say that this is your most important idol person and you would like to see it from different angles, then you can. This is where the venue can get a money and get a value for the customer. That, okay, you can see it from one angle, one perspective, but we can offer you with another app at your mobile to see the other rounds. Yeah. And that's also really helpful. Again, it's not going to be perfect always because there's lots of things around, but it is definitely given extra value. Yeah. Also, we think in the future that even for the sounds, for the feelings, if you use something we call the virtual reality, that's going to be important to have a private network than a public, because the amount of data, information, sensing is going to be more demanding.
So it's just widening the customer's experience at an event. So rather than just going to see Bob Dylan, he's 4 miles away because I've got cheap seats. They'll be
correct.
There'll be more.
So the reasoning the problem statement comes from a different place. So you want to sort of get a return on investment on your private network that you have deployed for a very strategic purpose, which is going to give you outcome in 10 years. But at the same time, you can add services for your customer. The one that Mutasem described is a different camera view. At the same time, you can add services like on-the-spot delivery of food.
So I'm in my seat, I can press a button and a drone will come and bring my coffee.
Exactly. Like the future looks like that. The future looks like that. It will be probably like that. So when you sort of get to a stadium, you are connected to your commercial network.
Yeah.
You're having bad Wi-Fi. One is obviously you can't connect to your loved ones or your people anyway. So, but you're here to watch the match. You're watching the match. But you can elevate the experience. You can get extra views. You can get the services. And with offerings like that,
Yeah.
the stadium is going to get a return of investment on their private network and use it for different purposes.
And how's the Satellite Application Catapult been involved in this Arana project?
Exactly. So as Mutasem was mentioning about these XApps, so how what we talk about when we talk about networks itself, there is a way to optimize it using intelligent data-driven models, and that's a lot of work that goes in the behind, and it is not seen in the public. It's not at the application level. It's not at the service level.
It's in the matrix.
It's
side
in the
of
matrix.
things.
Yes.
It's a meta, yeah.
Exactly. It's
meta.
absolutely behind. So one of the things that Samsung was doing is using some of those data to improve the quality of experience of users.
Yeah.
To sort of move users from one network to another and give them that better quality because the load was less in that network. What Satellite Application did was something on a part of the architecture called the backhaul. There is multiple elements in the architecture. To connect the first element to the second element, there is a line called the backhaul so that it connects. And that backhaul, the core generally sits somewhere else in every in every network scenario. Most of the time, the core sits somewhere else. And in that scenario, first thing is if you are in a remote area where you can't have fiber, satellite backhaul sort of is the only way to go.
Right.
And in a scenario like the stadium, where you have the fiber, but you want to add that resilience into that backhaul so that if there is a drop of fiber, you're still connected to the network.
Okay.
So you're improving the quality of the network.
So
you're
this is where
optimizing.
my next question. This is where does space come into all of this?
Exactly.
This is where.
So space is increasing the resilience of this type of like optimized.
Right. So it's kind of like an insurance policy. If it all goes belly
exactly.
up
So what
with
we
your
did,
fiber optics, we've got you covered.
what Satellite Applications Catapult did, we added that resilience of satellite backhaul, but we also made it intelligent. We ensured that whatever load was transferring through the network was distributed in priority basis between the fiber and the satellite backhaul. And that gives you a better quality of experience at the front end as well. So when we target the back end, you get the better quality of experience in the front end as well.
Okay, so backup. This is what the space bit does.
Yeah. To make it more simple, I can explain it with the trains we discussed before.
Simple is very good. I'm a great fan of keeping things
let's say the mobiles are the underground system in London, yeah? And Euston going to Manchester.
We have connectivity on the tube now. I'm amazed that you can use your You can use your phone on the tube.
That's right. That's great. Yeah. So and the backhaul that we talk about is like the connectivity between Euston and Manchester, for example. So you collect everyone from the underground going to Manchester. So the backhaul is going to be this big train going to Manchester. So you don't need only to be a clever only just in collecting, balance the people to go to which line on the underground, but also you want to have a resilience, like a backup.
The second train going to Manchester.
And also you need cleverly to choose who's going to go on the main train, which is fiber, and who's going to go on the parallel train, which is the satellite coverage. That's what they have done also in Catapult, which is brilliant too.
Okay. It doesn't solve the main problem of trains that they're too bloody expensive.
No, that's right.
I think we should introduce some intelligent data-driven models there.
We need someone to fix that. Okay, so this is where satellites come in. Satellite data comes in. And
so in the world of these, just to add a little bit, because in the world of these private networks and terrestrial networks, satellite just plays a lot of role to extend these networks to, say, very remote areas, because you can sort of rely on it for the backhaul. And you can also add resilience in the front end with the direct connectivity. So when we talk about connectivity in general, it's not just satellite connectivity sitting separately. It is a lot being mixed with the terrestrial connectivity now to provide those very specific solutions.
Okay. Can we talk a little bit about moving away from sort of stadiums and very specific high traffic areas where this connectivity is important, and into local authorities, because this is something that local authorities are using as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think those are also important. And, one of the flexibilities we talk, like multi-layer type of a network, and also network as a service. Those are two solutions we use to improve always the quality of service for those local authorities. And it's important really to be sure that if let's say this local authorities depends only on the commercial networks, and something outage happen in those networks, that means literally most of the work will be stopped. And we have seen some of those outages happening in those commercial networks. So when you have a private network, at least you can guarantee that the core business for your local authority is still going on.
Okay.
Because that network is controlled by you. Vice versa, let's say that your private network has failed, have failure or failed to provide you the service, still you can rely also on the commercial network. So this is why we call it the public-private partnership.
Yeah.
If we have that one, really, definitely for the users, for the local authorities, for the private, for the public network guys, everyone is winner. And that's what we are trying to promote really in this project.
If you sort of look at the problem spaces of local authority, they have services to provide to their people, right? It could be health, it could be postal, it could be maintenance, surveillance, security, a lot of those things. And the commercial network right now is, well, providing you a Wi-Fi, it's providing you internet, and it's good to sort of get a lot of these things done. So there are two aspects of it. One is introducing private networks into these areas for also those very remote areas as well, where the commercial network connectivity is not there. But also in, say, urban areas, you introduce that, you tackle the quality of experience of the users and the services along with that. But at the same time, you also, the second aspect of this project, which was the intelligent data-driven networks.
Of the Irana project.
Of the Irana project,
yes.
Yeah. Because we want to optimize the quality of network as well, which optimizes the quality of experience of users. So to introduce those models within this networking space of local authorities, what it does, like for example, in the night, there are less users using the network. So you power off a lot of these cells and you save electricity, you save power, you make your sustainability goals.
I get up at 4 a.m. to put my washing machine on because the electricity is cheaper.
So if it's been done for
I look tired, that's why.
Yeah. Those kind of things, those kind of implementations can also be done with this data-driven model, optimization of network sort of models. And not to get technical, but this is a whole open RAN space that we're talking about. But yeah, that's a technical term. I'm just plugging in because it sort of will make sense to a lot of people who are listening from technical aspects.
I'm not a great, I avoid technical terms.
That's why I'm trying to give an example that is more easy.
Yeah. So where's all this going? Like, what's the sort of, so the Irana project, is that now sort of done now? Is that sort of finished? Is it continuing?
Yes, it has completed. We have
the phase of project that we were working on has completed.
For the demoing, we have demoed a near commercialization in both Milton Keynes.
What does near commercialization
mean that we set up everything and we run those applications successfully. However, that means the level of technology is not a 9. It's like a little bit, maybe 7 or 8. So it's nearly there. Now, what is happening, I think there will be a next phase where they can put this, project to a real commercial, I would say, trial in one of the avenues that we have demo, like Milton Keynes or Grimsby Port.
Yeah.
So once they do that one, really, they can offer people to go, for example, on an eSIM card and connect to the network of that stadium, and then they can order food maybe with another app to see some cameras. Another app is hidden, as Gaurangi say.
What's the kind of reaction of people been? Have people kind of enjoyed it? Have they thought, oh, this is really improving my...
A lot of people gave a lot of feedback about, I don't know how much they were curious about looking something on the screen. As Mutasem said, it was near commercialization, so there could be a lot of improvement in the service level offerings of this. The back end where the models ran and the architecture was displayed, that was pretty mature. That was achieved. But from the services point of view, when it's engaging with the end user, you can do a lot of improvements in those areas as well. What people were pretty interested about getting those services. They were interested in, okay, can I get a route back to my car or something? Can I get
Navigation? I can imagine being really
navigation.
useful. Like, how do I? Because that's always the
Yeah.
great problem. How am I going to get there?
Yeah,
Where's the loo?
exactly.
Do I have to stand in a queue to order a beer?
Exactly. What is the level of queue at the stands, or can I get something at my seat itself? I don't want to walk all the way. What is the population level at the?
Can I make my
loose-
team win? Cleverly, just using the app. Yes.
You can
I'll
also
Arsenal will
engage.
score a goal
You can
and
also engage. So there's a lot of levels of services that you can offer, and people are very interested in that.
Talking about the demos that we have done in Milton Keynes, we have 2 cases I have seen when we have the feedback from the people who used the solution. One of them is just say, no, I don't want it, literally, and say, I would like just to watch it. I
Right.
don't want to have, which is his right.
Well,
And
that's exactly that's. Yeah.
this is what you said.
Yeah, yeah.
The second person was using it because we have another app that can allow you to gamble.
Oi, oi, oi.
And it gave him the right answer and he won money. So he was, I love it.
It's actually, you can imagine how sort of betting companies like Ladbrokes or someone would
Yeah.
sort of in stadium, real time.
And those both are real
Betting.
feedback from the
Yeah.
people. It's not just something we are improvised. It happened. I think it's in the second or third demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them just no, I don't like it. Which is, we know that this is the human nature. You can't. Everyone is going to be happy or ready to use the technology. While the other person say, no, that's fantastic. I won the.
Yeah.
I can't remember the amount, but it was like decent amount compared to what they gamble on.
They introduced the company who was developing the app. They introduced an AI chatbot sort of thing where you can ask for
Right.
And
predictions.
ask them what is the prediction.
Yeah.
and
That's
he
amazing.
took that prediction and used it in his.
Crikey. What happens when AI is going to be it's going to be so good that it'll be able to look at such vast amounts of data that it'll make betting predictions really accurate, or even like playing the stock market. Like, sorry, I'm going a bit off topic, but the whole of civilization is going to crumble. Surely, it's like suddenly.
Well, whatever the people want, right?
I think
Yeah.
end of the
Let the
day,
masses drive the technology.
I know, but
I at the end I say always, machine learning is a mathematical model,
Yeah.
so it will have an accuracy. So if people think that the machine learning will solve all our problems with high accuracy, I don't think so. That's going to happen. However, it's going to be, as I say, it's going to be a very vital tool for us
Yeah.
to improve our life, our
course it is.
work, and so on.
Of course, it is. It's very easy when we talk about these amazing new applications. You kind of automatically think, well, you can see the good sides of it, but also there is like, oh my god, but what about this? There's also these
Correct.
potential negative things.
And this is where we say this is like flexibility for those
Yes.
avenues to
Yeah.
put more application, take more feedback from their customers to improve themselves.
Yeah. So finally, let's end talking about space, because that's kind of why we're here. We've talked a little bit about how all this technology is going to improve our experience as we go and see concerts, or we go and see Arsenal. But in terms of space, where's that going to fit into the future, do you think?
Yeah. So connectivity in general, right?
Connectivity in general. I
Connectivity
always
in
talk
general.
about trying to imagine a day without space.
Yeah.
So in our scenario,
Yeah,
give us
exactly.
give us
So I talked about one of the examples, which was this extending these kind of services to remote areas where you can backhaul the through the satellite connectivity to
Yeah.
connect. So this is like ensuring this kind of traditional architecture can reach a very remote area where fiber connectivity is not
Yeah.
there. One is that. To all the applications which are a part of that industrialization, digitization 4.0 topics, everything IoT, automation, autonomy, drones, deliveries, all of those things requires satellite connectivity. Requires actually connectivity, which is very reliable and resilient.
Yes.
And
I think that's the key, isn't it?
the
This is what the
reliable
space
and
is.
resilience.
Reliability and resilience. That
Yes.
is what
Exactly. That is
space is giving us.
also like it's giving you a very global coverage.
Yeah.
That is sort of allowing you to run all of these services in any kind of area. So
Yeah.
you have that coverage, resilience, and reliability from space that's coming in. And the more models, the constellations that are coming closer to Earth, we're getting the performance as well improved by the time
Yeah.
as we go. And the future sort of looks in a very converged manner. there's a lot of topics. We can't get into that subject a lot, but there's a whole line of work which is going to combine the terrestrial network with the non-terrestrial network. So it is sort of one network.
Yeah.
And then you have that global but good performance coverage everywhere. And you have 3D networks, the vertical networks, and then you introduce all of these intelligent models into this format, and it becomes a holistic view for you to get into that. Okay, you're using data to optimize your application with this connectivity, which is holistic in nature, as a backbone.
And I can add that I think we are at the dawn now for the innovation in space for humans. A long time ago, most likely for researchers, for like specific like NASA companies.
I've heard of them.
Yes. So now I think the human connectivity through the space is going to give us another dimension, as Gaurangi said. So that dimensionality could be for mission criticals, when there is a catastrophe in a place that you cannot really deploy any communication systems on the land.
Yeah.
Or it is somewhere remote that you cannot reach in a proper time. So, for example, I will go, let's say, some explorer in the south of America or something like that. They don't have any connectivity. They can use now their wristband to communicate for emergency through the satellite. And in the future, for your training and so on, most likely, if there's no coverage in the place where you are, you can use the satellite. So those are part of the innovation. What about health and safety?
Yeah.
I can't say only machine learning and satellite will solve it. There is now loads of other techniques is also coming up, like quantum computing, quantum communication.
Crikey.
Yeah.
You know, I love doing this podcast is because you get this amazing little glimpse into
Nuggets.
the future and what's coming. And you're like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah. So those things, little by little, is gonna improve, our life. Really.
My worry, it's not a worry, but something that you said, markets are driving this technology. That's a whole many-hour conversation we can have about it.
If you look at the younger generations, the kind of things they're interested in, it's a lot of digital stuff.
But that's again, this is part of the innovation that you need a connectivity, and in general, without satellites, you cannot do it.
Talking about the moon, as we go back to the moon, going back to the moon is going to require connectivity. And exploring Mars.
Yeah.
So we can talk about
I think the problem space and the solution is to have that backbone of very reliable connectivity.
Yes.
And then you add any type of application. And that reliable connectivity, as Mutasem said, will come from a lot of technologies coming together. Space technology being a part of it, quantum being a part of it, terrestrial being a part of it, AI being a part of it. Everything comes together and it creates that backbone.
And the upshot is the future is going to be brilliant and there'll be no problems whatsoever. Everything's going to be like some kind of utopia. Great.
Exactly.
I can say it's a building blocks. Like, for example, more than 2 years ago, we start with a project that with Europe called Imagine Beyond 5G. So we start to use some of those blocks for, for adding this application in something called Intelligent RIC. And
Intelligent what?
RIC.
It's called RAN Intelligent Controller.
Yeah, a controller.
It's
a RAN controller.
It's one of the technical terms from ORAN world.
We start that one, and we think that one application for energy efficiency, for example, for the networks. But now we get to a RAN and we say, we need now to show it for the users to have a good quality of experience as a Samsung. And now we even look for the future, like in another project called 6G Leader, that can solve a conflict between those applications. Because if you have many applications in the network, you may also stuck that they are fighting with the same resources or trying to take priority. So this is a blocks that we have to build step by step.
Step by step, yeah.
And always you're going to find new challenges and new problems, issues, and you have to try to solve it.
Yeah. Good news I think the future is safe in both of your hands.
You can rely on us.
We're on you two very specifically. Listen, thank you so much for coming in and talking about interesting connectivity and space. Resilience, what was the other word? Reliability. That's
robustness
and
as
robustness.
Well. Let's add that.
There we go. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
To hear future episodes of In Orbit, be sure to subscribe on your favourite podcast app. And if you'd like to find out more about how space is empowering your industry, visit the Catapult website or join them on social media.